Modeling is my passion. It's also my biggest goal to achieve the highest level of realism in the models I build. Oh wait, what is this? Is that a wizard? Hi there! I built this beautiful kit a few months ago and I fell in love with this kit. This time I will build it as it should be. So it will be a classic BMW and fully detailed. Thanks to USCP for these amazing detail sets. This is the engine set for the TII version. This is the side door panels set because there are no details on the kit parts. Resin bonnet set. Alpina wheel set. And this is the last one. I picked this one. You can download the instructions to a tablet or print from USCP website. Okay, let's get started. First things first, I'm cutting the bonnet with needle. I'm doing this way because maybe you don't want to buy extra resin bonnet set. This is the way how to cut bonnet with precision. First, I thin the cutting line by scraping it with a needle. Then I'm cutting it out with a saw. This process takes time and patience. Now I'm cutting out the side panels. For setting the main part of the engine set to its place properly, I assembled the all parts temporarily. Before this process, some parts need to be modified like this. First, I secured the part in place with a tape. After that, I applied some CA glue to some points. CA glue is not useful for this type of modifications. It will bend, twist while I'm building this, so that's why I used a 2-component epoxy adhesive. After a day, now it's solid. This is the final part that needs to be cut for engine placement. When you are using a resin set, of course, everything is not rosy. I use self-adhesive foil to close the gap formed in this area. And I covered it with a liquid putty. Still, there are some missing details, like the rear of the headlights. I made them simply like this. And I made these things, I don't know what it is. I truly sanded the backside of these ventilation grills, but still the slots were not fully opened. I have to scrape them open. Let's get started. I'm going to add some missing details to the bonnet. First, I picked a couple of old PE threads from the spare box for that job. Not 100% accurate, but way better than nothing. Now I'm making the hinges. I need to take measurements to glue the hinges in the right place. I think that's enough. I have a bad news. Hasegawa molded the side strips together with the side signal lights. I need to separate them with a precise cut, because I need both. I managed it, but still need to make the upper detail of the light. Let's do it. I know a practical way for cutting a template. I cut all the resin parts in a cup of water to avoid harmful dust. Okay, let's build the engine. This time I applied two different primers. The first is a microfiller. The second is to form a base for the paint. I applied different shades of metallic paints. Let's paint this like a half-filled water tank. I painted the remaining parts with a brush to get a protective and thick paint layer effect. Now I can continue with the assembly. I made this from scratch with a copper wire. The door panels in one piece. Only a few parts need to be glued. Finally, I can start to paint. Since I decided to build this as a classic, I was looking for the original Golf yellow color and I found it. This is a car repair paint spray. Paint code is RAL1016. It's close enough to the original color. After I applied it, I realized that this is not a car paint. This is a quite thin solvent-based paint. I have no problem with that. It's thinner than any paint I ever use and love the color tone. Bingo! The surface is a little dusty as this paint dries so fast, so I had to apply a fine sanding to the entire surface. Now I can apply the first varnish layer. I applied 4 coats of gloss varnish and sanded the surface between each coat. And finally, I polished the surface with 3 different compounds. Let's continue with the chassis build. Since the details will not be visible, I'm not gonna add extra details. I will keep this stage simple. Let's build the steering wheel. Don't waste your time with a saw. Cut it just with a proper scissor. After a few simple assembly stages, it's ready. I applied black primer to the all interior parts. Now I'm painting them with a light sand color. I will apply a warm leather effect. For that, I am applying some acrylic wash. I am applying a self-adhesive foil strip for chrome-plated effect. Decals, and it's ready for the final assembly. The dashboard part is important to align the side panels. Let's add the missing details to the engine and the other parts. First, I'm making the battery cables using with a lead wire. I'm adding the spark plug details with the pieces I cut from a brass rod. This is a stretched cotton bud. I mean, it's a plastic pipe. And now they are the spark plug wire ends. I'm adding the spark plug cable and connector details with scratch cotton bud pieces and lead wire. It's time to put it all together. I'm painting all the details with a brush and complete the job. temporarily fixed the engine and other large parts in place. Flexibility is important at the main assembly stage. At that stage, I will remind you again. Now let's build the wheels. There is no slot for the arms on the rims. I need to make a template for centering them properly. Let's do it. And that's it. These thin chrome-plated parts are molded with multi-point connection to prevent warping. I use a thin saw to be able to clean all these unnecessary pieces without breaking the part. The surface of the bumper parts are quite rough. I need to fix them. A bath in a heavy-duty bleach will remove all toy-looking chrome plates. Now we come to the most stressful part, the masking process of areas that need to be chrome-plated. Make sure that the tapes adhere well to the surface. The smallest paint leak can ruin an entire model. Let's start to the chrome paint job, so keep your fingers crossed. Primer first. Oh, I forgot that. We have one more last annoying job. Masking the window sealer chrome details. Thanks to Tamiya for this flexible masking tape. Let's see the result. This time I'm painting the clear parts with brush. X22 as a glue. Let's prepare the car body for the final assembly. If you noticed, I did not glue any main parts in place. When you put the chassis in place, all the parts fit into place somehow. Sometimes things go well. That's why I didn't fix the engine and the other large parts in place. It's impossible to fit the chassis without breaking the engine. Now I can fix them to place. Let's paint some LED wires and add the missing details to the engine. I stripped these wires from an old headphone cable. These decals come with the engine set. To getting a slight weathering effect, I'm applying a water-based ink wash. After it has dried, I'm wiping the excess wash with water. Let's add the chrome parts. I use white glue for this job because it cleans easily with water. And now I can apply the final coat of polish. The last two details before the finish. Okay, I know, the model is complete. For who wonder how I build garage equipment, let me try to briefly explain this part in about 2 minutes. After usual cleaning and assembly steps, I applied a primer to the all parts. For the paint chipping effect, I'm applying a dark iron color first. And a hairspray layer. After it has dried, I painted the all parts to their colors. After a few hours, they are ready to apply paint chipping effect. After applying a gloss varnish layer, now I am applying a heavy weathering wash. For getting a basic weathering result, I am wiping the wash in one direction. After that, I secured the all paint and effect with flat varnish. I made a power cable and a drain pipe with lead wire and paint them. That's it. Well, thanks for watching this episode. If you liked the video, please like and share. Subscribe my channel if you haven't yet. Also, you can support my channel if you can see the join button below or on Patreon. The links are in the information section below. See you soon on the next episode. Until then, take care of yourself and keep modeling. Bye.